What made me realise I needed help with my debts was not being sure of how I was going to get from month to month anymore. The debt started off with an innocent enough payday loan to help me through an emergency. And then the following month I had to pay that back with all the interest on top as well, which left another hole in my finances. And then so I had to borrow more and more every month, to the point where the payday loans were covering my rent. And then I had to go to another loan company to pay other things off. I had credit cards. I was using credit cards to pay off bills. And then the bank charges on top of that for every missed direct debit just added to the problem. I had a plan to get it all sorted and to speak to the payday loan people myself and see if they could give me a payment plan. And then they took money out of an account where there wasn't money, and that left me with hundreds and hundreds of pounds of bank charges for an unauthorised overdraft. And within a couple of months of me trying to sort it out myself, I managed to add another £1,000 to the debt or something like that, and I just couldn't do it on my own anymore. I called Baines Ernst because I'd reached sort of the lowest point I could go. There was no way out of it. There was nowhere else I could turn to for help. I do feel sorry for the poor bloke that answered the phone that day, because I was crying. I couldn't understand what I was going on about. But he calmed me down and talked through my finances, and he gave me, we went through everything that I owed, and we did my monthly expenditure, everything that I had to pay. And he came up with a figure for what I would pay them every month that they would then pay off to my creditors. I was taking the first steps towards getting it sorted. And at that point, I wasn't going to get any more debt. It was going to be being paid off every month. They were going to get the interest frozen for me. And I was actually headed in the right direction for once. And I didn't have to worry about it. I didn't have to put up with phone calls. I didn't have to put up with the letters. It was all sort of Baines Ernst were doing that for me. And I was in control of it for the first time in a long time. I knew exactly where my wages were going on payday. I sorted all my direct debits out, and I knew how much money I had left over at the end of the month, and there were no surprises, no more bank charges. And it was a massive weight lifted off my shoulders. Recently I had an annual review just to have a look at how much I was paying every month, to see if that could be increased, and to give me an update of where each of my balances stood with each of my creditors. And I've got into the position where I can actually pay more off now, and in a year I will be debt free. And I don't think, when you're not on a debt management plan and you're struggling with debt, that's something you don't have. It's just, I'll keep chipping away at it and I'll get there eventually. Because I know in 12 months time I'll make my last payment and that's it, no more debt. I have actually recommended Baines Ernst to a couple of people, and I know at least one of those people is now signed up on a debt management plan, and she said exactly the same thing as me. It's made such a massive difference to finally be in control of your finances and to not have to worry about it anymore.